Hey, this is Pastor David with Vertical Church in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Today, the Think About It for you is about forgiving others. You know, it is so important that we walk in the power and the choice to forgive when people do things against us. You know, there may be situations that happen in your marriage between two spouses or between you and your children, or between you and friends or coworkers or even people in church against a pastor or a minister or church people coming against you. There's all kinds of things you could talk about. Horrible, horrific things have happened to people over the years in their life. And some people get stuck and they get imprisoned in the place of unforgiveness. And we have to understand when unforgiveness is there, see, it's not just an emotion. It is a demonic spirit that the enemy tries to keep over a person and lord over them. And with unforgiveness comes bitterness and hatred and resentment and rejection. And I'm not saying that the pain you experienced or are experiencing, the hurt, the emotions, I'm not saying they're legitimate. But the thing about it is that God can give you the ability and the power to forgive and release yourself from that situation. Now, forgiveness isn't saying that what a person did was okay. Because see, with forgiveness also comes and should come accountability. And there's times when you forgive people that to remain walking in love, you have to walk away. You have to keep distance between you and that other person or that group. And so I want you to understand that in your life, when you choose to forgive, what you're doing is you're unlocking yourself out of that prison of hurt and pain, and you're able to go forward. And Jesus is the one that can hand you those keys. He can give you the power to come out of that situation and to release that. Because see, I know people that are still angry and hate people that have even passed away. And the enemy is using that on them to control them and keep them in a place. See, the Bible says in Matthew 6 that when we forgive others, that God is able to forgive us. But when we don't forgive, God is not able to forgive us. See, it's not that God doesn't want to. It's because everything we do in life, there's a cause and effect. You reap what you sow. And so it is important to understand that when we forgive, God, and then in return, He is able to forgive us. And God is the only person that has the right or the ability to not forgive, because He's righteous in everything that He does. And we all stand guilty in our sin, in our distance between Him, and it's our faults that we're there. Yet He chose to forgive us. He chose when He was hanging on the cross. He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they're doing. Even when we thought we knew exactly what we were doing as a human race. And so even in that, Jesus forgave us. So no matter what people are doing to you, you can choose to forgive them and receive God's healing power to come on the inside of you. And it's just like, you know, and think of when you were a child and you were riding your bike or riding your skateboard and you fell and you cut your knee. And you know that there was a cut there and it bled. But as you grew and as time went on, it turned into a scar. Now when you think about that situation when you were a child, when you think about it, there's no pain that you start feeling in your knee where that cut happened now that it's a scar. And the same thing can happen on the inside of a person. There may be scars, but God can heal you to where there is no pain. And then what's amazing about it, that God can even go a step further and even heal the scar. So it is important to remember to choose to forgive. You may think you have every reason not to forgive, but remember, we don't have the right. We have to forgive. It is a choice that we make because we want to honor God. And we have to say, God, as an act of my will and in obedience to your word, I choose to forgive. So I want to share that with you. I want to leave that thought with you today, that God can give you the power and ability to forgive no matter what's happened so that you can be free. I appreciate you listening today. Don't forget to check us out at facebook.com/Vertical Church Online. And don't forget to close your eyes and open your faith.